Hi everyone, it's Delaney, Senior Inbound Marketing Specialist at Hivehouse Digital. Today, I'm going to show you how to create a pop-up form in HubSpot. Recently, HubSpot has made some changes to this process, so we're going to walk you through step by step. Previously, when you were in HubSpot, you would go to Marketing, Lead Capture, and Forms to create a pop-up form or banner. You would click on Create Form, and then there would be an option for a pop-up. But now you can see that there is an alert telling you to go to CTAs to do pop-up slide-ins and banner forms. So you can click on Try CTAs now if you're there. If not, go back and you can click on Marketing, Lead Capture, and CTAs. Now, if you go to CTAs and it shows Legacy up here at the top, what you need to do is click on that and select CTAs Beta from the drop-down menu. Now you can see the new CTAs tool that will allow you to create a pop-up form. So you will start out by clicking on Create, and then you can either choose a template or start from scratch. What I have found playing with this new version of the tool is that it is much easier to use starting out with a template and modifying it to your needs. So that's what I'm going to do for this example, and I'm going to just find one as a base that I can then modify. So I think I like the look of this simple newsletter subscription pop-up. So I'm going to click on Choose Template. Now I'm going to name my pop-up. I will say, I'm actually not going to do a newsletter. I'm going to do a content offer. So I will say Tofu website checklist. Now you can go ahead and start modifying it to your needs. So I am going to click on this image and replace it with the content offer image. Then I'm going to modify the text. I'll say, is your website at risk? And I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to minimize the text size, and I'm also going to center align it. And then for the subtext, I will say, download our guide to evaluate your website for security and performance issues and learn how to fix them. Just doing this right off the fly. Okay, so I have my headline and my subheader text, and this template initially had a form for people to fill out, but I don't want that. I want to do a button, so I'm going to delete the form, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag the button module over here. But you can also add dividers, forms, images, rich text, and WhatsApp links if you would like to add that to your CTA or your pop-up form. So I'm going to click on my button again, and I'm going to copy and paste my URL from my other screen for my content offer. And then I'm going to update my button text. So I will say download, oops, if I can spell, download the guide, save and apply. And then I'm going to click on styles to update the look of the button. So you have your padding, your alignment. If you click on text, you can modify the text size, the text font. If you want to bold it, I typically like to make my buttons bold. You can do the padding of like the text to the button as a whole. So if you want to increase the space between the edge of the button and the text, click on background to change the color. So I'm going to change this to one of our orange colors. You can also add a border if you'd like. So if you wanted a solid line, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and click none. Corner will help you have kind of a curve to your button. So if you would rather not have that, you can go ahead and do 0 and it'll look square, but I would like it to be more rounded. So I'm going to put that at 8. Then you also have options for hover. So the hover text, the hover background, like if you wanted it to change to a different orange when people hovered over the button, you can do that. I am going to just keep it as it is. And then when you're done, click Save and Apply. And then you can just kind of assess the CTA as a whole. Is there anything you want to change? Is there anything you want to add? If you're looking at it as a whole and you want to change the padding or some other, like the background of it, make sure you're not clicked onto any modules and then click on design. So here you can also preview it on a example page. We're in our HubSpot portal, so this is just a plain template, but this will help you visualize what it might look like on the page. And then you can also adjust the sizing, the layout, styles, and background. So layout, that's going to be your padding. Styles, that's going to be the main fonts. If you want to add a border or drop shadow, and then background is what will change the color of your CTA or your pop-up. So you can add an image or you can do a background color or gradient. So I'm just going to keep it white for this example, but if you wanted it to change it to a branded color, you could do that. If you wanted to do a light gray, you could do that. I mean, even if you wanted to make it pink, you can do that. So you can choose that, or you could do a background gradient where you pick two different colors. So for example, if we wanted to do the light orange to the darker orange, you could do that and then change the direction you want the gradient in. Because we have a lot of orange with the button and the content offer image, I am going to leave the background white. But I'm looking at it and I think I would like to update the CTA button size. So I'm going to go to the button and I am going to increase the text size, which will increase the button. And I think that looks good. So we're all saved. One thing you want to make sure you keep is the close button. So you can either click on it or you can click on the content tab and find the close button. And you can choose the, again, the padding under layout, the sizing, and then the style. So the color and the opacity, if you want to drop shadow, you can do that there. I'm going to leave it as is, but you always want to make sure that you have a close button so people can close out of your pop-up. And then it looks like my title did not save, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Next, we're going to click on targeting, and this is when your pop-up will show. So you always have the option to trigger a pop-up on a button click. You can choose trigger on page scroll, so when they scroll a certain percentage of the page. You can also do exit intent, so when a user looks like they're about to exit the page. Trigger after an elapsed time, that is the default, and then trigger after inactivity. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to do exit intent and turn off elapsed time. When you scroll down, you can choose where the CTA pop-up will be shown. So the default is going to be all of your pages. You can also add exclusion rules. So for this example, let's say we want this on all of our pages, but we don't want it when the URL is our content offer page. So I'm going to take that URL, copy and paste it, and that is our new exclusion rule. So it'll show on all pages except for the landing page. You can also adjust based on visitor information and behavior. So this is like different filters like segmented lists, if they're a logged in visitor, their device type, form view, session counts, a whole bunch of different filters you can add to your CTA. So it only shows the CTA pop-up to certain people. And finally, we have how often will it be shown. So this is how soon after they close out of the CTA pop-up will it show again. So the default is going to be after every 2 weeks. You can say don't show again, or you could have it repeat. I would typically recommend after a set time period, and 2 weeks is a good place to start. Finally, you have your options. So you can choose to turn this off for small screen sizes, so it won't show on mobile or tablet. You can also assign it a campaign. And then you can also schedule the pop-up. So if this is for something timely, such as a webinar, you can schedule it to turn on and off at a certain time. Once you've made your pop-up, you've gone through targeting and your options, you can go ahead and click preview to once again preview it, make sure it looks how it should look. Then you can go back, click on review and publish the CTA so it can show on your site if you are publishing it immediately. If not, it will schedule to publish. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our next tech tip.